Okay, right, for our next talk, we've got Keep Ukraine Connected. We've got Rene who's going to speak with us. Some of you may have actually heard this talk in some form at other events. I've not actually heard it, but I've heard great things about it. And I had a quick catch up with Rene earlier on, and it sounds like there's some really interesting stuff going on there. So I'll hand over to him now. Just one final thing, though, is about this industry is one of the most collaborative that you'll find anywhere. And I think the way the community has come together to do what's happening in Ukraine, I think is wonderful. So thank you, Rene, over to you.
Hello. So I'm Rene. I'm working for this bright orange company called Flex Optics. We're doing some magic with transceivers, and it's a pleasure to be here. Also greetings from Fergus. He's staying at home, cooling a little bit down. We had a lot of travels the last months. And today I'm coming to the LINX meeting with a different topic. I don't talk about BGP, no RPKI, but I need to talk about the war next door to my home. I'm living outside of Berlin, so Ukraine is literally 900 kilometers away from my home. And I'm not only working for Flex Optics, I'm also chairman of the Global NOC Alliance, and we're doing normally really cool stuff for NOC meetings. I'm traveling a lot of days during the year in different regions, and I'm looking, is there a NOC existing or not? So when no NOC is existing in such countries like Africa, parts of Africa, Uganda, I founded in 2019 the Uganda NOC with a friend of mine, with Isabel Odida. Right now it's a big event with 150 up to 200 attendees. And we're providing software and all this kind of stuff. And then we had this day X, 24th of February, and I was waking up and I was shocked what happened overnight. So the Russian armed forces invaded Ukraine. And as I mentioned, it's next door to me. So I'm an East boy, so I was born in the east part of Germany. And yeah, I was shocked. I was preparing my daughter for the kindergarten, and it was the first time to apologize to my daughter. She is right now 2 years old, to say, apologize, baby, but this needs to be part of your life. A war. It's not a good thing. I don't like this situation. And I'm also living in this industry a couple of years, and I think I see Inga more often as like my own wife during the year when we're traveling from event to event to event. And during the last years, I built up my own mindset for myself. So we're talking about women's in tech and all this kind of stuff, but I don't think in genders, I don't think in races and all this kind of stuff. For me, it's, I don't care from which country you are, and you're black or white or whatever, I don't care about it. And this is also a part to say it was the base to start this Keep Ukraine Connected project with my colleagues. As I mentioned, 24th of February, it was a dark day for every one of us. The real war started. The war happens also in 2014 in the eastern part of Ukraine. And 2 weeks after the war started, a Facebook friend, and also a DJ colleague from Berlin, who was posting at Facebook, hey guys, I got a truck, a 40-ton truck with humanitarian goods. I want to drive to Ukraine, handle this over in Ukraine, and who wants to join? And we have the same friend, is Falco Wemme. It's the owner of a rental company for event equipment like speakers, DJ gear, and all this kind of stuff. And I was talking to Falco, hey, you have a lot of trucks, so you have one additional for free. So we got 2 trucks, one 40 tons, one 7.5 trucks, and we filled all the humanitarian goods in the trucks. And we was driving around 1 day, 1.5 days from Berlin to Lviv area. And I'm a frequent traveler, so I'm traveling every time with passport. So my friend Patrick was not so experienced in travel, so he is a typical German guy. He was traveling with a personal ID. So, but we are leaving Europe to a non-Europe country. You need a passport. It's the same what I need right now for UK. And we stuck between the borders Poland to Ukraine. The reason is, or was, we needed to wait for the head of shift on the Ukrainian side, and it was nearly 2 weeks after the war started. And you can see on this side all the guys, ladies, kids, babies coming out of Ukraine with buses. I counted, I think in these hours we was there, I counted every 10 minutes arrived a bus from Ukraine to this border, and everyone was going via the border to Poland, to the Red Cross support, and then there was driving to Warsaw and all this kind of stuff, and Krakow, and then to other destinations. But at this point, I'm new in this thing. You have your own child, your own kid, and all this kind of stuff. I was shocked to see this. The problem is for these people, they was running out of Ukraine. They have a war in their own country, and for the daddies, for the guys, it wasn't allowed to leave the country. But the wives, the kids left the country to be safe and run away from the war. I completely understand, but I was shocked and I was crying, I think, for a half hour. It was like really hard to see and to hear this screaming and crying from babies and all this kind of stuff. It was really hard for me. And then finally we arrived in the Lviv area and handed over everything to the Ukrainian counterpart of the association. And when I came back 2 days later, I was talking to my board colleagues. This is a board of the Global NOC Alliance. Nishal is based in Johannesburg, Florence from Google is based in Netherlands, Sander based in Netherlands, me based outside of Berlin, and Jan Schorsch is based in Slovenia. And every one of us works and lives in this industry since years. We're living the industry. We doing a lot of contributions for the industry. We are supporting a lot of projects. We are supporting a lot of people, and also we are mentors for new starters in our industry. And it was a part in the time to found this project, Keep Ukraine Connected. And the mission and the vision behind Keep Ukraine Connected was we have these contacts. We're living and working in this industry since years. Why are we not using these contacts to support? It was our idea to start anything. Don't talk about it and don't say and write at Facebook, oh, I'm so sorry about the war. It doesn't help. So we are hands-on and saying we need to do something. Why are we doing this? Ukraine is also a crazy example for IXPs. They have 19 IXPs, when I'm right, and I counted right. Nearly everything is based in the Kiev region. And this is a map. And I will show you later also a map with, of ICT anomalies from the night 24th to the 25th. And you see, Kiev is a major hub for the IXP. Then you have the Kharkiv region, Donetsk region, and Mariupol region, and then the eastern part with Lviv. And also the data center concentration in Ukraine is mostly Kiev. That's one of the reasons Kiev is a major hub for the internet infrastructure in Ukraine. This is a chart from February to December 2022 from my order. I got this from Doug from Kentic. And you can see when the war started, this is a ping to the probes. You see this decline, and also from RIPE from the Atlas probes, you can see also 24's slow decline of all Atlas probes. BGP sessions the same, and also in an overlay BGP compared to the active probing. And this is a last 24 hours global perspective. I added the slides a couple minutes ago. You can see from the global perspective, from the internet infrastructure, we don't have major issues. But we have a red area, and this is Ukraine. Right now, I talked to Elena. We had massive attacks against these electrical grid stations. So right now, I added these slides, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. So we have massive attacks in this region, also in the southern part. They are nearly offline. And this is also why the Ukrainian infrastructure, also fiber infrastructure, is also important for the western part of Europe. We have a lot of fibers are coming out of Ukraine to the western part of Europe, also via Slovakia, Czech and Poland. And we have also a couple of the sea cables, and we are talking about critical infrastructures. And you need to be aware have access to, during a war, we have access to public fiber maps. It's very simple. These are KMZ files, but these are official critical infrastructures. And you have 3D models of subsea cables. It's a critical infrastructure. You know exactly in which area there are prepared the fibers. It's crazy. You have access to everything. This is what I mentioned before. This is the first wave via 4 axis on the 24th of February. The Russian armed forces came in from the northern, northeastern, and southern and the eastern part. And you see the Kiev region was a major attack region, and you can see it also in this anomaly sheet. You can see also nearly a lot of 100% anomalies detected in the last 10 hours in this region, outside of Lviv, Kiev region, then Kharkiv region, southeast, and Odessa region, and Mariupol. And on the 10th of October, they had also a massive rocket attack, and I'm really thankful Doug is sharing a lot of content with the community and also with me. So this is the Lviv area with a lot of rocket attacks on the 10th of October, and you can see a cut down with the infrastructure, but they're slowly restoring all this internet infrastructure. So we don't know, this is only the reason is the power was offline, or also they had a lot of damaged like fibers and they need to splice the fibers back. But the Ukrainians, and this is amazing, the elite and best telecom and all these ISPs with own employees are running into the field. You will see later a couple of pictures of it from our friends. It's amazing how fast, and this is really, really crazy, how fast they're going into the field and splicing fibers together and doing and restoring the internet infrastructure. It's amazing. And you see, normally 6 hours and the internet was nearly back, and it came back slowly. This is the Kharkiv region, the eastern part. This is a chart from yesterday. You can see a little bit cooled down in this region, also Kharkiv region, and hopefully, I'm praying every day when I'm waking up, this war ends immediately. We're running in Ukraine in a hard winter right now, and hard winter without electricity, it's really hard to survive. So I don't want to be in such situation to live in a country without power during the winter. And we're talking about a real winter, not what we have in Europe, like minus 10 degrees, and we are complaining. They have minus 15, 20 degrees and a lot of snow for weeks or days and all this kind of stuff. Why is Ukraine important for all of us? Ukraine is around 603,000 square kilometers. We have over 40 million people there living there. We have 43 million of mobile subscribers. We have over 3,000 small, medium-sized and big ISPs. And the offering to customers the cheapest internet, but good internet also with IPTV to end customers in B2C and B2B segment. And they have a high fiber internet coverage of 90% in the whole Ukraine. What are the major challenges? This is a chart from our friend Dimitri. He is working for DEPS. What we faced also, and what we worked the first weeks, we worked via Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn to get access to any contacts in Ukraine. The reason was we started this project via Facebook, also all social medias, and said, hey guys, when you have some equipment you don't use right now, send it to Rene's house. His wife is unhappy, we know it now, but it's quite possible we can ship it anytime, whatever, to Ukraine. So I had a full backyard, an unhappy wife. I was away for 1 week. She was complaining and sending WhatsApp pictures with pallets of equipment in my backyard and garden and all kind of stuff. So I needed to find a solution, and we need to work out how we can bring this stuff from my garden, so my wife is more happy, so to Ukraine, and also Ukrainians are happy to restore and rebuild the infrastructure. The biggest challenge for us was DHL, UPS, FedEx, etc. don't serve in these regions during the first 2 or 3, 4 months. So I was driving a couple of times with a truck to Ukraine. I did also a Europe tour via Prague, Czech Republic, Slovenia for SEE 10 for a RIPE meeting, then back to Austria to grab also stuff in Vienna and Graz, and then was going to Poland, grabbed some stuff in Warsaw, and going to Lviv and handle the stuff over to our friends from DEPS. Right now we have our own supply chain with 2 warehouses, one in the western part of Germany with our teammate Daniel Huben, managing director of Rock Solids, and Marcin Kuchera from he is also PC member of PLNOC and also very, very deep involved in the Polish community. And they are driving on his own from western part of Germany to Ukraine, and from Poland from Rybnik, from our warehouse to Ukraine, to handle this stuff over to our friends from DEPS. We solved the first problem. The second problem we tried to solve with a lot of power generators. We bought from donated money and all kind of stuff, and we shipped it also via our own supply chain to Ukraine. And the biggest challenge right now is also you have on both sides you have they're called IT army of Ukraine and IT army of Russia. So they're fighting on a cyber war with DDoS attacks against each other. And we have a big problem. Electricity is the biggest issue right now. So the Russian armed forces are attacking nearly daily or weekly base the electronic grid lines and all kind of stuff. These are pictures. I need to look. I think this is Best Telecom. And you can see this here is from a rocket. And next to them, they are trying to splice the fibers. Also, we shipped a lot of, I think, 47 or 50 splicing boxes to Ukraine. And they're grabbing this and going into the field and splicing the fibers together. They don't care about this is a village or this is like in front of a tank or whatever. They don't think about it, they're doing things. And this is, for myself, it's the best motivation. The stuff you're sending to Ukraine or we're sending to Ukraine on our own supply chain, it is used. It's not going to a storage or whatever. They are using this equipment to restore this infrastructure, to have access or have the possibility to have working internet access for the citizens of Ukraine. And this project, Keep Ukraine Connected, it's based only on internet communication. Means we are using Telegram, Threema for encrypted communication. We have a special tool for encrypted communication with special parts of Ukraine, Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., etc. We don't have any video calls. I hate video calls. It's a waste of time for myself. So you can figure out everything when you're writing some lines with the other side. And this is one of the famous pictures. One guy is sleeping in front of a rack to make sure he is awake when the power generator is running out of fuel. Then he is awake, going to the power generator, refill the fuel, and the power generator is working. Also here, you can see here, this guy from Best Telecom is splicing the fiber in front of a destroyed tank. It's crazy. These are crazy. And this is what I mentioned. It's fine to have all and everything in your backyard and garden and on different places, but you need to track it. And this is what I mentioned also before. We are not supply chain manager. We don't have any we don't had any experience. No, we are experienced in logistics. We don't know what we need to do. You have all this stuff, but you need to track the stuff. You need the serial numbers of each of the switches and routers and all kind of stuff. You need each of the serial numbers and part numbers of Wi-Fi access points and antennas and all kind of stuff. So one colleague of ours, Sander, was silent for 2 days and 2 nights, and he scripted a tool. This is a version 1 of our 8 coordinator. It's available at GitHub for everyone who wants to support a project, everyone who wants to support a disaster or whatever. He can grab this 8 coordinator at GitHub, install it on your servers, and you can use it. Right now we have version 2 is working. Version 3 is, we will release version 3 in 2 or 3 weeks. And right now it's possible to track all this equipment. The donator is logging into our system. With version 3, he can upload Excel sheets and CSV files, exported out of the own document management system or whatever. He can upload this stuff with the amount, the serial numbers, and all kind of stuff. It makes everything easier, and the requester can go into the system and can see what is offered by donators, and he can claim it, and we can say, okay, it's okay for you. We have a priority list who can claim and for which regions, etc. And also you can see the availability, how many pieces are offered, how many pieces are already claimed by requesters, and we can track everything. Means what we want to do is when the war is over, we want to make sure the donator can get in touch with the requester, to see each other after the war, to have a proper barbecue or whatever. The reason is the donator was supporting these guys, and I like this. I can track each of our equipment, each of the routers, each of the switches. I can track by serial number, etc. I know exactly who it ended up. This is a donor view, and we're working with 2 different workflows. We have our own workflow with automatic matching and compare matching. Means automatic matching is request is matching with the donator, and everything what is left on equipment we need to match manually, like a donator offered like a Juniper switch, 48 port, and the requester was asking for a Dell switch or Sixel or MikroTik or whatever. And then we are talking to the requester, hey, it's okay when it's not a MikroTik, but we have a Juniper machine. And this is our workflow up to the shipment via our own supply chain. Also DEPS. DEPS is it's a distributor in Ukraine, based in Lviv, with a proper warehouse, with a new hub, and also in Kiev. They have also own logistics, the employees driving our stuff directly to the war zone, directly to the requester destination. And they have their own call center. Means a requester can call DEP's contact center, can say what they need. They will write it down, put it into a database, and we match also Boost bases with our. Right now, the workflow is receiving aid at the hubs in Kiev or Lviv or at the borders. It depends on the hot level and situation in Ukraine. So I'm happy when it's really hot and a lot of things happens in Kiev and Lviv area. We can meet us after the border. Then we handle everything over from truck to truck. Then it's going to the Lviv house. Right now they're cleaning all the equipment from company stickers and brands and all this kind of stuff to make sure when this is going into wrong hands, nobody can go back and saying, oh, you supported Ukraine, we are not happy, etc., etc. And then it's going from Lviv to the Kiev warehouse, and then the equipment is cleaned from dust, from stickers, packed in boxes, and then the equipment is going to the requester. Who are our friends right now and partners in Ukraine? I'm happy we're working very, very close with the Ministry of Digital Transformation together with DEPS. I'm really happy about this cooperation. Without long discussions or whatever. It's amazing to work with such guys and together. Also with the Ukrainian Internet Association. Here driving parents was Bogdana and Natalie Klidner. Many, many thanks for the support. This is an overview. What we shipped right now, we shipped a couple of transceivers, and a lot of fiber splicers. This is end of September. We shipped a lot of more right now. We got a huge amount of donations from SES Astra, also many $100,000 from SES Astra to buy the splicing gear, to ship it immediately to Ukraine to make sure they can work. Also a lot of switches and routers and wireless equipment. Also we are supporting. They have their own project, call it Wi-Fi for schools. I want to have schools in the future completely with our Wi-Fi access points and connectivity for kids and for the teachers. And we are supporting also with a couple of Wi-Fi access points. So all in, we shipped equipment for around $1 million. We are expecting up to mid of December around 2 million of donated equipment arriving in our warehouse in Poland. So I can talk about more when this stuff is finally in Ukraine. A lot of things happens. I'm really, really happy for all this support globally. We got equipment from Microsoft, from US, shipped it from US. We worked 5 months on the whole shipment to get it to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Poland, to Rybnik, to our warehouse. And this is a success story. We supported right now, up to end of September, around 60 companies with all this equipment in all parts of Ukraine. Who is behind our task force, Keep Ukraine Connected? Corinne is, we structured this a little bit. For me, it was like, I'm burnt out. It was the last month, since March, it was like a full-time job next to my normal full-time job. And I'm really tired also. My colleagues who founded with me this project, we are really tired, and we added a couple of new teammates. I'm happy about it, fresh blood and fresh motivation and all this kind of stuff. Corinne is our lead for all the communications, means social media and website changes and all kind of stuff. Natalie is, she is working also for RIPE-NCC. She is our orga lead to structure everything. Sander is responsible for our aid coordinator on the software perspective, together with Ihor, then me. And Jan Schorsch. Jan Schorsch and Sander are doing also like hardware checks, compare recommendations, and when someone is coming to us with infrastructure planning, what do you think, what we need, long distance equipment, etc., etc. Eric Bays is our man for Netherlands, Daniel Ruben and Marcin Kuchera, our warehouse specialist, and Boos are pushing our complete supply chain management right now with all the donators and all kind of stuff. Esther Paul and Michael are also in the comms and org perspective. So I'm really happy to have right now a team. It is balanced and not everything is on our shoulders from 4 or 5 people. Also our team Debs and Natalie, like Gennady and Dimitri from Debs, they're doing a amazing job, a real amazing job with all the stuff who is coming in from us. It's amazing what the guys are doing, and Natalie is our link to the government. So we have one claim out of this industry: we don't support the government directly, and we don't support the armed forces of Ukraine. That's a major point for us. We don't like war. We don't want to support the war. But we attend a lot of times the ENOC, the East Eurasian Network Operator Group meeting. Happens normally in Moscow and Kiev, Minsk, etc. So we have a lot of friends in Russia and also in Ukraine. And I'm happy we have one link between us and this politically correct government wording. So it's not my part normally. My personal motivation for the future. I added this today in the morning when I gave this presentation for the Internet Association in Australia at 7 o'clock in the morning. My personal motivation to drive this project longer is like, we have an aid coordinator. Each of us has a lot of equipment who is going to a trash, who is going to refurbishment companies or whatever. My personal motivation for the future is to build up an aid coordinator, a global aid coordinator. Everyone can put in equipment, what is ready for donation, to requesters. And let it stay there 2 months or 3 months. And after 3 months, you can say, okay, it's going to a refurbishment company or to a trash or whatever. But we have a lot of, from the global perspective, we have a lot of things to do. And we can solve as a global community. It's not only UK community, it's not only the German community or whatever. We have a lot of communities and we have a lot of things to do to solve infrastructure problems like Iran right now and all this kind of stuff. And with a global aid coordinator, we can push everything a little bit on a good side from everything what we can do, like collecting equipment, look to so possible supply chain to get it to Iran, to get it to other disaster regions like earthquakes and all this kind of stuff. But this makes sense from the global perspective to say we have one single aid coordinator, everyone who can donate equipment, put the donated equipment or this donation into our aid coordinator. Requester can go and log in and can request with a shipping address, etc., etc. Huge thanks to my employer, Flex Optics, and also to Six Connect, the employer of Sander and Jan. We got all this freedom, all this space to work on this project during the first months. And I'm really happy. Thank you. That's it. That was fast. Amazing. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rene. Do we have some questions? We must surely have some questions from the audience. Wow, we have, yeah, Mike. Yeah.
Hey there, I'm Mike from Google. Thank you so much for all this work. Sounds fantastic, and the difference you're making to enable people to continue to communicate and stay in touch and access to information is amazing. My question, the areas that Ukraine has recaptured and restored, do you have any information about the state of the infrastructure when they get those areas back? Is everything destroyed? Do they have to start from scratch? What are you hearing about places like Kharkiv and Kherson and so on?
It's difficult to answer. So I have different information. So you need to look also of a level of trust of all the sources you can get any information. So and also I have government information. So I can talk about the government information right now, but I can talk as an example Mariupol. The infrastructure was nearly completely destroyed. And Elena, you can. Afterwards, she is also from Rayton. I'm happy to meet her after all these years and COVID and all this kind of stuff. We had a conversation about the infrastructure and how it is right now there. It's difficult. So we have two infrastructures to solve. Today in the morning, I had a conversation with one person from Australia. Australia is donating 500 million of Aussie dollars for Ukraine. Rumors right now, up to it is fixed. And they asked me, what do you think, what needs to be solved with this money? So from my point of view, Elon Musk shipped a lot of Starlink shit to Ukraine. I'm thinking on a different side. So I'm experienced with armed forces and satellite sniffing tools and all this kind of stuff. I'm thinking on a different point of view about the Starlink terminals and putting this to government places and critical infrastructures are the backup possibility. Right now, we need to solve the first thing for all citizens of Ukraine. The major important thing is solve all this electric grid stuff. It's a major priority number one. Without power, you can run the data center. Without power, I think Elena got a question. You can give us internet access without when we are 1 month out of in Ukraine with power? No, it isn't possible. So no light, no power, no light. No power, no bits, done. So the first priority is restore all this and also backup possibilities for all these electrical things there is needed there. And the second one, it's a lower priority, is more like then you can talk about real internet. But right now it looks good with the internet. Yeah, there are up and downs. So I have 8 minutes, I think. This is not so fast. Where is it here? Ah, it's this direction. It's not a fast laptop. I have one overview from Doug. You can see you have a lot of attacks, so you can't count on it. The problem is with the internet in Ukraine right now, it's up and down, on or off, 2 options. And Doug gave a presentation at NANOC, Doug from Kentic, about all these measurement tools and all this kind of stuff and how it looks like. And the problem is what we can analyze right now is like traffic on or off. We can say this is off, the reason is the power was off, or internet is off, the reason is the fiber is cut. That's a big issue at the moment. So I think the first priority, what you need to fix is power plant things, all the electrical grid things, all this kind of stuff to make sure they have 100% everyday person power. And then you can restore also the internet connectivity. And you can, and this is what I mentioned also before with the overview of the IXPs and the data center. It's you need to think about redundancy. So, and I'm a friend. I'm not talking about redundancy. I'm talking about geo-redundancy. So I'm not talking when I'm talking about redundancy. I want to have separated traces, no crossing, nothing. That's the answer, or we can chat also during the social. Thanks for your feedback. Any other questions? Come on. No? Good? Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Rene.